SMT Nation, welcome back to the channel. First time here, subscribe for more SMT videos. Turn on the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. All right, this is a very, very interesting time in wireless. Spectrum auctions left and right. The mid-band spectrum is sorely needed to build out 5G, and we're getting it with C-band most recently, and then CBRS before that. Now we have more of that similar 3 gigahertz type spectrum. Spectrum is the lifeblood of networking. Let's talk about this auction. We got 100 megahertz of 3.45 to 3.55 gigahertz, very similar to what we saw with C-band and CBRS. This time it's going to be for 100 megahertz of it. C-band was 280, CBRS was 70 megahertz licensed. All right, in this particular auction, the maximum any entity can have is 40 megahertz within a PEA or a market. The rules are proposed in March, adopted in June, again updated later in June. Results will be public in December. The auction takes place in October. This particular spectrum, part of the Beat China and 5G Act of 2020, getting it out there for carriers to use. The CBRS spectrum generated, I think, $4.6 billion. C-band generated $81 billion. I don't think this one's going to be around either of those marks. No way, no how for either. Not on the low end and not on the high end. Financial experts, some of them are saying it's going to be like CBRS. I totally disagree. I think it generates more. The per megahertz pop calculation should be interesting. You're going to have cities like New York City, Chicago, Boston. They'll drive up the per megahertz pop pricing, and that'll kind of keep it a little bit higher. CBRS was at 0.215 per megahertz pop. C-band was at 0.95 per megahertz pop. I expect this somewhere in the middle, maybe like a 30 to 35 megahertz pop. AT&T, for my predictions, I got them going completely national, 40 megahertz. Just look at their spectrum position post C-band. They're behind, so I think they're going to shore that up with this. Money's not an object. They're going to go national. They needed to boost their spectrum holdings post C-band, and it just makes sense. They didn't get any CBRS, and they went a little light in C-band in my estimation. Verizon, I believe they go 30 to 40 megahertz in their top PEAs and markets where they have the market share. Money's not really a factor. They have to address their needs. And remember, C-band for them only clears block A early. That would be like later on this year. And then the B and C block doesn't clear till 2023. So this makes sense because it'll be available very soon for usage. So no way, no how Verizon sits this one out. I know a lot of people have been speculating that. No way, no how. T-Mobile, I like them to treat this kind of like the CBRS auction. Pick their spots, maybe 20 megahertz blocks where they can get it, depending on the deal. They're more focused on the EBS BRS 2.5 gigahertz for next year. It makes their N41 more contiguous, makes their network a little bit more efficient. Dish, expect them to clean up, maybe 20 megahertz in their top 30 markets or something like that. It's very cost dependent. I see them going 10 megahertz in most instances, so kind of like CBRS. Anyways, I think this auction is going to generate about 19 to 22 billion. I got AT&T spending 8 billion, Verizon spending 6, T-Mobile spending 3, and Dish spending 2 billion. There's just too much debt to go around. I don't think they can generate more than that at this particular time. Don't expect any cable companies in on this one. I know some analysts indicate that almost 40 billion could be generated in this. I don't see it, and I also don't see anything below 10 billion. I think it's going to be closer to the 20 billion mark. Carriers need this. C-band is not enough. CBRS is not enough. EBS, BRS, not enough. PCS, AWS, not enough. Midband needs to keep coming, and they got to build out millimeter wave. What are your predictions? What do you disagree with? What do you agree with? I'd love to hear what you have to say. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Sound off in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Give this video a like and a share, and we'll see you all in the next video. Peace.